welcome you all for the course of MBA Semester 3 Human Relations and Legal Framework. Today is our lecture 8 and topic of our discussion is Introduction to Industrial Dispute Act 1947. The primary objective of our today's session is help to understand the Introduction to Industrial Dispute Act 1947. The contents of our today's session are Introduction to Industrial Dispute Act 1947, definition of industrial dispute, object and significance of Industrial Dispute Act, important provisions of the Act, and when to consult and refer to a dispute. Introduction to Industrial Dispute Act 1947. So this is one of the very important act in our syllabus. Particularly this act came into force on 1st April 1947. This was made a very revolutionary changes in our especially industrial economy, particularly in solving the problems with respect to industrial dispute. So this act was made different provisions for investigation and settlement of industrial dispute and tries to safeguard the interest of the workers. So whenever we are talking about this form of Industrial Dispute Act 1947, okay, this act has established some sort of standard by means of providing some effective provision in resolving the matters which are connected with industrial dispute and how to safeguard the interest of the workers. Whenever we are talking about the Industrial Dispute Act, we also came to know, okay, this Industrial Dispute Act helps to resolve the matters which are connected with the industrial relations. Okay, so what matters has been there in the form of industrial relations? So there will be some sort of unrest would be there or disagreement on certain matters in between either the employers and employees, okay, or employer and employer, or workman and workman. So whenever we are talking about any sort of industrial problem which are connected with some industrial dispute or any disagreement, okay, that arises in any industry which hamper the growth of harmonious industry relation between employer and employee, that comes under the purview of this Industrial Dispute Act 1947. Now, why does the dispute arises? Dispute can be arises by means of using any form of clash of interest or any disagreement, okay, or any form of unrest among the parties concerned. Parties means here the labor or the management, we may call them as an employer. So any sort of clashes of interest can result it into some sort of dissatisfaction among the either parties. So whenever the dissatisfaction arises, okay, that may primarily cause to some sort of industrial disputes, or we call them as industrial conflicts. So we need to identify some sort of that clashes of interest on what matters exactly, okay. There will be a problem of that industrial unrest. Maybe it is related to the hours of work, wages, or living or service conditions. There will be several causes of industrial dispute. These disputes can be in the form of protest, strikes, demonstrations, lockouts, retrenchment, dismissal of workers, or any other several matters which are connected with the employers as well as the employee. So this form of industrial dispute can be identified primarily and it will take the various shape of forms. In case of that Industrial Dispute Act 1947, the government tried to establish the mechanism to resolve the matter which are connected with industrial dispute peacefully. So they will provide the machinery for settlement of industrial dispute, and simultaneously how does that machinery will be helpful in maintaining the harmonious relationship between employers and the employees, okay, that may be connected with it. So in overall, the Industrial Dispute Act provide a mechanism to resolve the problems of industrial dispute. So under this Industrial Dispute Act, the government has set up some machinery. So what are that exact machineries over here, and what is the role of this machinery? So we will call them as an authorities under this Industrial Dispute Act 1947. These authorities primarily investigate any matter which are connected with the industrial dispute. So there will be works committee, conciliation officers, board of conciliation, court of inquiry, labor tribunal, industrial tribunal, and national tribunal. These authorities primarily look after, and as well as they will investigate any matters which are connected with the Industrial Dispute Act 1947. Now the overall law, okay, means the Industrial Dispute Act 1947 contains 40 sections and it is divided into 7 chapters. So in all there are 7 chapters, okay, and as well as it is totally based on 40 sections in these chapters. So chapter 1 deals with the title, definition, and other terms and conditions of the employment which are being specified over here, and various other related terms are being specified. Its definitions are mentioned in this act in chapter 1. In chapter 2, the various authorities are described, their role, power, duties, and responsibilities. Say for example, works committee, conciliation officer, board of conciliation, court of inquiry, labor tribunal, industrial tribunal, and national tribunal. So their roles and responsibilities are fixed over here in chapter number 2. In chapter 3 contains the main scheme of the act and the reference of the dispute to labor courts and industrial tribunals. So particularly when the industrial dispute could not be get resolved, so in chapter 3 lays down some terms and conditions with respect to the reference to the dispute, which is the case will be transferred to the labor court and the industrial tribunals. Chapter 4 lays down the procedure, powers, and duties of authorities constituted under the act. So whatever form of several authorities are there, their procedure, powers, and duties are fixed in this chapter number 4. In chapter number 5, which contains the provisions of to prohibit the strike, lockout, declaration of strike, lockouts as illegal, provisions relating to layoff and retrenchment or closure. So there will be possibility situations under which circumstances one can declare the strike or lockout, maybe an employer over here, as well as when does the lockout can be considered as illegal, okay, or what are the provisions that are being made for layoff and retrenchment of the employees, and when does the employer can declare the closure of an enterprise, so which can be specified in chapter number 5. In chapter number 6, there are certain provisions which are being specially related with the penalties. So whenever the appropriate rules and regulations could not be followed by either parties, so there will be some sort of penalties are there under this act. So according to some legal action can be taken against the parties concerned. And chapter number 7, which contains some miscellaneous provisions. So some basic provisions are there that could be mentioned over here. Definition of industrial dispute. Now the dispute means any sort of conflict or difference which arises in terms and conditions of the employment. So means whenever the employees are working within an organization, there will be possibility of certain type of clashes or conflict. We may generally call them as a difference of opinion. So that difference of opinion is a very common phenomena, but sometimes that difference of opinion can be have some its large intensity, and the problem could be arises in such a fashion wherever nobody wants to get withdrawal from that particular problem. So in that case, some sort of conflict can be in such a way wherever there is no appropriate solution can be obtained by means of using collective bargaining, and the issue has been raised in such a way, okay, wherever none of the parties agreeing on any of that matters connected with it. So generally we came to know there is a disagreement in between the employer and employee or employee's representative, usually a trade union, that may be either connected with pay and other working conditions of the employee, that may result it into certain sort of industrial actions. So here whenever we are talking about the industrial dispute, that industrial dispute can be primarily happen on the basis of certain disagreement in between the parties concerned. So the matters which are primarily connected, either it may be related with some hours of work, payment of wages and other related matters. When the industrial dispute occurs, both the parties, that is management and the workman, they tries to pressurize each other. So it is a very common phenomena which can be seen almost in many of the industrial premises. Okay, none of the parties they tries to take a withdrawal, and there may be the problem and its intensity can be get increased. So overall the matter of phenomena can be increased in such a way the overall picture which can be enlarged by means of using some particular issues on it can be further highlighted either in some news or by means of using some pressurized tactics by each of the parties, by means of using also some sort of gheravs or picketings or some sort of morchas which can be arranged at the factory premises. Here the management tries to resolve the dispute as early as possible, or any form of industrial unrest as early as possible. But in most of the situations what happened, the conflict could not be get resolved. So the workers they will think on the other hand, and as well as the management, that they can think that the problem could be get resolved as early as possible. So both of them are using some different tactics to resolve the dispute. Okay, if the parties mutually comes together by means of using collective bargaining, okay, and they try to resolve any sort of industrial dispute matters, so there will be an amicable solution to both the parties, and the issue could be get resolved very easily. But we came to know that the workers or the trade union, they are going for strike, they are going for picketing or gheravs or some sort of morchas. Okay, these are the common practices which can be adopted by most of the trade union as well as the workers. In that case, the management of the organization sometimes declares strike or lockout. Okay, there will be mass layoff or retrenchment. In that case, the problem further increases. Okay, and there may resolve complete hunger strike. Okay, or some sort of complete closure of an enterprise sometimes. So after we came to know about the introductory part of that industrial dispute, what exactly industrial dispute means. According to section 2K of Industrial Dispute Act 1947, what exactly the industrial dispute is? An industrial dispute means a dispute or any difference between employees and employers, between employers and workmen, between workman and workman, which is connected with employment and non-employment or terms of employment with the conditions of labor or any person. Once we locate this definition very clearly, okay, we can objectify that definition in such a way. There must be some sort of differences, or we call, okay, there should exist some dispute or differences. That differences could be in between employer and employer, employer and workman, and workman and workman. The dispute or difference should be connected with employment or non-employment, the terms of employment and other related conditions of labor, okay, those who are employed in that particular organization. And there is one important provision: the dispute should relate to an industry as defined in section 2J. Section 2J has covered many of the industries, and in any industries, okay, the dispute is occurring, okay, that dispute can be get resolved using that Industrial Dispute Act 1947. Object and significance of the act. One of the primary objective of that Industrial Dispute Act to get an amicable solution to any problem which are connected with industrial dispute, as well as to secure the industrial peace and harmony, okay, in that industrial premises. So one of the best solution to solve the industrial dispute by means of using collective bargaining process. But it could not be easier to solve any particular issues with respect to the subject matter. So that's why the government has provided some effective mechanism that is called as machinery for the settlement of industrial dispute, and it lays down the procedure for investigation for the settlement of industrial dispute by means of using negotiation process. It lays down some provisions, okay, that provisions for payment of compensation to the workman, okay, on account of closure or layoff or retrenchment. So during layoff or retrenchment of the workers, okay, there would be some sort of provisions which has been made, okay, in the form of payment of compensation to the workman. Procedure for prior permission of appropriate government. Here the appropriate government may be a central government or state government, okay, for laying off or retrenching the workers or closing down the industrial establishment. If any of the employer, those who are looking to close down their operations by closing the their industrial premises or manufacturing plant, or whenever they want to laying off or retrenching the mass workers, in that case they need to obtain the permissions of the appropriate government. Unfair labor practices on the part of the employer or any trade union workers. So there may be some sort of unfair labor practices that can be adopted. So we try to overcome that unfair labor practices, and by means of using this Industrial Dispute Act 1947. Whenever we have discussed these objects and significance, the Industrial Dispute Act 1947, they were listed out some important objects, or we will call them as an objectives of that Industrial Dispute Act. Promotion of measure of securing and preserving the amity and good industry relations between the employer and the workman. How amicably we can resolve any sort of industrial problem specifically related with industrial conflict or any unrest. Investigation and settlement of industrial dispute between employers and employers, employers and workman and workman, with right to representation by registered trade union or federation of trade union or an association of the employers or federation of association of the employers. Now, whenever we are talking about settlement of industrial dispute, okay, that settlement of the industrial dispute can be happen in between the employers and employees, the matters connected with the parties each other. employers and workmen, okay, workman and workman with a right of representation, means there should be an appropriate form of representation by means of using the parties concerned, which may be also related with certain registered trade union or any federation of trade union. There are certain large trade unions in our country, or an association of employers, say for example manufacturers association, or federation of association of the employers. Prevention of industrial strikes and lockout. Relief to workmen in matters of layoff and retrenchment. Promotion of collective bargaining. So in overall we came to know the primary objectives of this Industrial Dispute Act has been defined in this sense. Important provisions of the Act. Now once we came to know about the introductory part and objectives, there are several provisions under this Industrial Dispute Act 1947 the Government of India has made. Here the Industrial Dispute Act 1947 primarily defines some important definitions. So it defines the industry, industrial dispute, layoff, lockout, retrenchment, trade union, strike, wages, workman, etc. It provides the machinery for investigating and settlement of industrial dispute using certain authorities called Works Committee, Conciliation Officer, Board of Conciliation, Court of Inquiry, Labour Court, Industrial Tribunal, or certain voluntary arbitration process. Simultaneously, the provision has been also made by means of using reference of dispute for adjudication process. So here the case of the dispute has been transferred for the process of adjudication, where the judgment has been announced and award has been declared, and which should be binding on both the parties. Award of labor court and tribunals. Here also, whenever the cases has been transferred to labor courts and tribunals, what is their process that are being specified under this act. Payment of wages to the workers, particularly during the pending proceeding in high courts. So whenever some proceeding goes in the high courts, so during that period of time the workers need to get the wages, so their legitimate rights can be get protected over here. Right to appeal, right of appeal. So whenever the parties which are connected with that industrial dispute, those are not satisfied, so they can apply to the high court and ask for the justice. Settlement in outside conciliation. So there is certain form of voluntarily measures to resolve the some sort of dispute related matters, okay, that should be under the process of conciliation. Notice of change in employment condition. If there is a change in the employment conditions of the workers by an employer, that should be notified particularly before commencing any of the acts, say for example lockout or declaration of closure of an enterprise, protection of workman during the pendency of proceedings. So whenever the uh, process with respect to the proceedings goes, so it is a legitimate right of the workers that they should get some minimum fair wages from the employer. Strike and lockout procedures, so these are the provisions. Some other provisions has been also made under the act. Layoff compensation, if the employer has made some mass layoff, in that case some sort of layoff compensation could be given to the employees. Retrenchment compensation, it is also similar to that layoff, wherever large number of employees were retrenched from the workplace or they were refused to get employed within the factory premises. Proceedings of retrenchment, so whenever the proceedings of retrenchment goes in either labor court or in high court, even that period of time some legitimate rights of the workers could be need to be protected. Compensation to workmen in case of transfer of undertakings, so whenever the plant has been uh, transferred from one place to another place, the local workers that they need to be provided to certain form of compensation because they could not be located wherever the manufacturing plant goes. Closure procedure, if the employer want to close their operations by closing the industrial enterprise, there is certain procedure to close down the operations. Reopening of the closed undertaking, there are several provisions has been made, particularly whenever closure as well as its reopening. Unfair labor practices, some sort of unfair labor practices by means of using the labor leader or union leaders, so we tries to overcome such kind of unfair labor practices. Recovery of money due from employer, if the employees are not getting their due amount of compensation or some sort of relief which has been required during the period of proceedings, during the period of suppose say lockout or strike, so some sort of recovery can be made from the employer. There has been a provision with respect to the penalties if whenever the terms and conditions with respect to the parties concerned, those could not be met by each other. Obligations and rights of the employees, some sort of obligations and rights of the employees are also fixed. Okay, so whatever role, function, duties and responsibilities, okay, wherever the employees that they need to stand very clear, that has been also specified. So these are the important provisions under the Industrial Dispute Act 1947. When to consult and refer a dispute, when there is a no solution or no amicable solution which can be obtained by means of using both the parties, by means of using collective bargaining processes, so one can go to resolve the industrial dispute by means of whatever form of machineries are available under the Industrial Dispute Act. So whatever authorities has been specified under this Industrial Dispute Act, one can approach to these authorities and try to resolve the industrial dispute. So when does one can go or consult to these authorities or refer a dispute to these authorities? When a dispute arises with the workers union, if suppose the workers union or trade union has not appropriately cooperating with the employer, okay, or the workers representative has not been represented appropriately, okay, in that case one can goes to these and refer the case for industrial dispute. When there is a plan to change the employment condition, if any of the employer has changed the terms of conditions of the employment by means of framing some new contracts and agreement, in that case one can refer the dispute to the authorities. When there is a strike, okay, when the worker or its trade union declare a strike, when there is a lockout, when there is a retrenchment of workman, when the undertaking is being transferred on closure of the establishment, on reopening of the establishment. Here you came to know some sort of phenomena or some other terms and conditions wherever many of these concepts that are still new for you, okay, we will discuss all these definitions, all these terms and other related concepts which are being connected with Industrial Dispute Act 1947. We discuss all these concepts in the forthcoming sessions. So that is all about our today's session. We will see the various other concepts in the forthcoming session. Till goodbye to you. Thank you.